Welcome to another crochet tutorial with Cozy Rosie UK. Today we're going to be adding on a V-stitch border onto this granny square. It makes a really good contrasting stitch against the treble 3 cluster that we use in the granny square. I'm going to be using a solid colour for the border, but the square's been made using a variegated yarn, so it really kind of gives you lots of different colours and texture throughout that square as well. So what we're going to do first of all is just tie on, very simply, tie on that colour change. If you're continuing to make your border in the same wool as your square, there's no need to fasten off and start again, you can just carry on. So I've tied that on. I'm just going to take my tail, pop it over there so I can work over that. So the V-stitch is made up of a treble, a chain 1 and a treble. So it uses 2 trebles and a chain 1 to create a V shape. So we're going to start by inserting our hook and bringing the yarn back through, completing a chain 4. Now this chain 4 counts as a treble and a chain 1. So to complete this half of the square, or the V-stitch, we're just going to do a treble into that corner as well. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to move across and we're going to place a V-stitch all the way across in between each of the granny squares. The granny clusters is what I meant. So we're going to yarn over, insert the hook into that next chain space, complete the first treble, chain 1, yarn over, complete the second treble. I'm just going to chain 1 to move across that block so we can keep a nice shape of our square. Again, we're going to place 2 trebles, a chain 1 and another treble into that chain space. Chain 1 to move across the next block and create a treble, a chain 1 and a treble crochet. Chain 1 to move across, insert your hook into that next chain space, completing a treble, a chain 1 and a treble. So we've reached the next corner, we're going to chain 1 to move across, then into this corner we're going to place 2 V-stitches, which is your treble, chain 1 and a treble, and then we're going to place 2 V-stitches into this corner along with a chain 1 in between. So we yarn over to complete the first half of the V, chain 1, so that's the first V into that corner. We're going to chain 2 and then reinsert the hook into the same corner space to complete the next V-stitch. There we go, so that gives us a nice corner. Chain 1 again to move across. I have run out of wool. Let me just get some more out of that ball. There we go. We've chained 1 to move across this block here. Going to yarn over and do another V-stitch into this chain space. So a treble, a chain 1 and a treble. Chain 1 to move across. Insert your hook into the next chain space. Chain 1. It's another V-stitch. So you can see how contrasting that looks. Obviously the colour helps to make it really stand out, but it really kind of gives you a bold difference between the 3 trebles in your granny stitch and your 2 in your V-stitch. So keep on working all the way around. In each of the corners you're going to place 2 V-stitches. So you can do your treble, chain 1 and your treble, chain 2, treble, chain 1, treble. Between each of the V-stitches you place another chain to move across that block, the same as we do in our granny squares, just to kind of help keep it nice and neat and make sure it's not pulling anywhere. And I'll meet you back round, all the way around here, and we can finish off together. So I've reached all the way back to my first corner. I've placed all the corners in there, and as you can see it's looking quite bold, isn't it, having that different stitch variation there. So into the first corner we're going to complete this one here. So we've already got half the corner space made. We've got this chain 4 and a treble. So the chain 3 counts as the treble. We've got the chain 1 to go in between these stitches to create the V. So what we need to do, I'm going to yarn over hook and complete the V-stitch as normal. So 2 treble, chain 1 and a treble, and then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to slip stitch just into the third chain from the hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and that will leave that last chain there. So just pop that through onto your hook, making sure you grabbed 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, and straight through that loop on your hook, and that completes that corner there for you. Just going to fasten off there. There we go. So we can weave that end in as well. And that completes our V-stitch edging. Just going to weave that end in and it's all done. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all our latest tutorials and patterns that are released.